What is up, everyone? On today's video, we're going to be doing some more Duramax stuff. It's been a lot of slow, small steps over the last few weeks, but now we are ready for some of the bigger stuff. So let's get into it. First thing I did was off camera. I just popped out the wiring harness. Basically what that is that's all the engine, like your AC and your coolant temp and all that. That just wraps over the whole engine, and then that goes back to the fuse box here. This goes down to your TCM, that's your main engine computer. Over here, this line runs down, goes on the transmission. That is four-wheel drive right there. That is your starter ignition, your harness ground. There's one more ground over there. That is your main engine harness. Over here, this is your right and left headlights. This is actually really easy. There's one sensor right there in the middle, but this is like your right headlight, left headlight, fuse box. That's it. That's the whole harness. Over here, we have the two blocks to choose from. The one block was cooked. I don't remember. This was the one that was cooked. I think the number one piston, yep, this side, that was all scored up. So this guy is going off to the machine shop like tomorrow. So I got the Tacoma in here. We're going to get that loaded up. And then these heads over here, I need to deconstruct these heads tonight because they have to be basically stripped completely down, except just the heads and the valves can stay in there. But I need to get these guys, get the intake off of them and the exhaust manifold, so they're ready to go to the machine shop. Over here, we got some new parts washing fluid. I'm not sure what it is. PSC, is it 1000 or 100? 1000. So I believe this is from Tractor Supply. I'm not entirely sure, but we've been washing basically everything. So this is the Evapo-Rust. May or may not be from Harbor Freight. I don't remember for sure. This is what it turns to. So this was for 48 hours. This is nasty rust from the last project. That was just dipped in. That was 24 hours. This is 48 hours plus a little parts cleaner. So you can kind of see it. It's kind of hard to rub through with your finger, but that's like, it cleans up so well. So it looked just like this, I swear. I'm going to make a video about this stuff later, but it's actually some pretty incredible stuff. Tomorrow, Dan is going to be coming over, and he's going to help me get this frame ground. It is supposed to be 48 in Illinois. It's been freezing for most of the U.S., I know, but here in Illinois, it's been cold. So we need to get this pulled out. All of this frame and everything, the entire engine bay is getting prepped. And then back here, we're just going to go along the frame rails as much as we can. That's like last priority. And then obviously this is going to be our probably number 2 priority is all of this stuff here. Axle, I might wait because I could always do that outside. It's not that much. But doing the main truck, I definitely want to be outside in the warmth because that's a lot of work. We got a Chinook helicopter coming by the shop. I'm sure you can probably hear it on camera, but these guys are loud when they come over. They come. Always cool to see those helicopters come over. But for now, we're going to get the first head on the workbench, and I'm going to show you guys how to disassemble it for a machine shop. And then I'll do the other one off camera, and then we'll get the block and heads loaded into the Tacoma and ready to go to the machine shop. All right, so everything on the heads that needs to come off, obviously we got the fuel rail here, we got the intake. These 2 studs have to come out. You want to get all your studs out, dowels out, and then that stud right there. Glow plugs need to come out. These are coming out way easier than expected. Just hit them with the impact. They're all ripping right out. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4 glow plugs out in one piece. That came out very easily. So hopefully the other side does too. So note for this, looks like the fuel rail can stay on the intake, so that'll actually be kind of helpful. All these guys right here, and then both sides, there's one hidden inside. So if you're doing this in chassis, you gotta be careful of that one. All right, someone used silicone to seal these, which is what you're supposed to do, but they used a lot of it, and they torqued these down. So these external Torx studs, we're gonna have to blast these guys out. If I can get off of there. This guy is stuck on here. What you want to do is hit the fuel rail. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to get new fuel rails anyway, so I don't really care. I just turned the camera off and hit it with a hammer, and look at how much they used. Like, it was like squeezing out the side. That's not good. You don't want that. These are kind of hard to clean. I'll show you guys how to do that. But Now that that's off, we need to get off these two studs, which I don't have a stud extractor, so I'm going to probably use vice grips and ruin them and destroy them to where they can't be used. This is an exhaust stud. You can just grab them on the body right here and get that off. And that guy right there is just 2 bolts. All right, so rather than destroy the stud, I use my brain. You take 2 nuts and you tighten this one against that one. And then you basically just grab the back one here and it will spin out the entire stud. So that doesn't always work because you don't always have enough space, but in this case, we obviously do. So I'm gonna get all of them out this way and then we'll be able to move on. Also, one thing in an LB7 you gotta watch out for is these guys right here, which I believe that is part of the injector hold down. So that's like what the other end goes on. So got to pull all these out because those are actually surprisingly expensive when you use them for some reason. So just get needle nose pliers in here and pop them on out. Should be 4 of them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other head stripped down and then we'll get the block loaded. We got the block stripped down, got all the dowels out of that. There's some stuff on the front I had to take off. The ground bolts, motor mount bolts, all that stuff's gone. It's pretty heavy on this truck. All right, got the stuff loaded up. I got the 2 heads. This block's not going anywhere, but I went ahead and threw a strap over it. She's really not going anywhere. Nice and heavy. Really would like to get it up here, but I don't know what tools the machine shop has. All right, it's now the next day. The heads and block are off at the machine shop, and now it is time to pull this thing out so we can get the frame ground and prepped. It's gonna be a fun time. No, it's not. It's gonna be really rough, but we're gonna try and get as much done as we can. Got the frame pretty well prepped, not perfect yet, but I'm gonna get the tractor and push it back in. Oops, drop the tractor key because it is getting cold out here, so we're gonna get it pushed back in and do some other stuff tonight. So what we were going to do is jack up the entire back end and pull the axle out, but next weekend it's actually supposed to be more warm, so I'm gonna leave the axle in it for right now because we still got a lot more to do right here in the frame. On the inside, we still got some rust here and there. Not anything major. We got all the big stuff knocked off, so if we do have to grind in the shop, it isn't going to create that much of a mess. Up here in the engine bay, it's actually looking pretty clean up here. The frame still needs done, obviously. Got all the major rust off that. Still got some stuff to do up there. But overall, the engine bay actually came along pretty well. I'm going to take that small bracket out and do under that. But yeah, the engine bay is... the walls of it, at least, are almost ready. Still got a little bit over here to take care of, but overall, this is coming together pretty well. Another thing we did was we went ahead and yanked all the cab mounts out. Normally, you got to fight these things, but a 1/2-inch dual impact just buzzed all of them straight out. So that's pretty good. So really glad I decided to take off this bracket right here. So look at all the moisture that was under that when I power wash the engine bay. I mean, it's not bad or anything. It's just a bunch of flakes, but that is really not good. So I'm sure that's where most of the trucks probably start to rust, right here, right in there. I mean, that's just top layer right now, luckily for us. So need to get that prepped. But the rest of the engine bay, it's actually looking pretty sweet in here. That was just a little taste of what the wheel can do. So bright the camera can't even pick it up, but really clean metal. I got all the rust off there. Still need to go down along the side, but the engine bay is almost mostly prepped. All right, so that's going to be it for today's video. Now we have concepts of a plan. Not real plan, but at least we kind of know the direction we're heading. We got the truck pretty well prepped up in here. She's just kind of sitting in here back where it was. But yeah, we got a lot of progress done. Hopefully we can get the engine started. Still need to get the trans done and all that. But in the meantime, in the Illinois winter, I'm going to try and keep this thing, or all the work, inside as much as possible. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.